Leg cramps at night aren't just painful, they're downright mean. They rip you out of a good dream, hit you when you're defenseless, and leave you sitting on the edge of your bed, rubbing your leg, wide awake, wondering if you'll ever sleep through the night again. You're over 60, I bet you've been through this more times than you'd like to admit. That sudden, vice-like grip in your calf, your thigh, or even your foot, yanking you out of rest and leaving you sore and exhausted the next day. I know this feeling all too well. A few years back, my dad, who's in his late 70s now, started waking up almost every night with these awful cramps. He'd hobble into the living room at 3 a.m., grimacing, trying to stretch out his leg. He thought it was just part of getting older, and honestly, so did I at first. But then I started digging, talking to doctors, reading studies, and testing things out with him. What we found changed everything. Those cramps aren't just a random curse of aging. They're your body waving a red flag, trying to tell you something's not quite right. Here's the good news. You don't need fancy prescriptions, costly treatments, or a dozen doctor visits to make these cramps a thing of the past. There are simple, natural changes you can start tonight right in your own home that actually work. They're backed by science and have helped thousands of people, including my dad, sleep soundly again. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 easy, step-by-step tricks to stop nighttime leg cramps before they even start. And stick with me, because the last one, based on a 2021 study, showed jaw-dropping results, over 60% fewer cramps in just weeks. If you've ever woken up in agony, clutching your leg in the dark, I want you to drop a comment below and let me know I'm not alone. Share your story, might help someone else who's going through the same thing. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more tips like these to help you sleep better, feel stronger, and live your best life after 60. Let's dive into the first trick. And it's so simple you'll wish you'd tried it years ago. Trick number 1. Rethink your sleep setup. Let's start with something so basic most people overlook it. How you're sleeping. I used to think a good mattress was all you needed for restful sleep, but boy, was I wrong. As we get older, our muscles and joints stiffen up, and the way we lie in bed can quietly set the stage for those midnight cramps. Here's what's happening. When you sleep with your legs stretched out to straight or twisted in a weird way, your muscles stay tense all night. You don't notice it while you're dreaming, but your body does. That tension builds up, and boom, your calf or thigh seizes up, waking you in a panic. Sleep experts have found that your sleeping position directly affects muscle cramps, especially in the calves and hamstrings. If your legs are extended or crossed for hours, those muscles get overstretched, and your nerves fire off a painful contraction to reset things. The fix? It's all about how you use your pillows. You're a side sleeper like me. Try slipping a pillow between your knees. This keeps your hips and spine in a neutral position and stops your legs from twisting into awkward angles. I started doing this after reading about it in a 2018 sleep study, and it was a game changer. Not only did my dad's cramps ease up, but my own lower back pain started fading, too. If you sleep on your back, pop a pillow under your knees. This creates a slight bend in your legs, taking pressure off your lower back and keeping your calf muscles relaxed. You don't need some $100 orthopedic pillow. Just grab one that's firm enough to hold its shape, but soft enough to feel cozy. Try this for a few nights and pay attention to how your legs feel in the morning. My neighbor, Susan, who's 68, swore she'd never sleep without her knee pillow after just 1 week. Her cramps didn't vanish overnight, but they went from every night to maybe once a month. If you're dealing with hip or back discomfort on top of cramps, this little tweak might surprise you with how much better you feel now that we've got your sleep position dialed in. Let's talk about a natural remedy that shocked me with how well it worked. And it's not something you swallow. Trick number 2, magnesium. But not how you think. You've probably heard about magnesium for muscle health. But most people get it wrong. They pop a pill, hope for the best, and wonder why nothing changes or worse. They're sprinting to the bathroom. At 2 a.m., that's because, as we age, our digestive system doesn't absorb magnesium as well. You might swallow 400 milligrams, but only a fraction makes it to your muscles, and high doses can upset your stomach. Here's where things get interesting. You can skip the gut entirely by putting magnesium right on your skin. It's called transdermal magnesium, and it's like a secret weapon for leg cramps. Magnesium is your muscles' chill pill, helps them relax after calcium triggers a contraction. Without enough magnesium, your muscles stay on edge, ready to cramp at the slightest provocation. A 2020 study from the University of Bristol tested this on 52 adults over 60 who had frequent leg cramps. Half of them rubbed magnesium chloride. Spray on their calves and thighs every night for 2 weeks, while the other half used a placebo. The magnesium group saw a 35% drop in cramps, and when they did get a cramp, it was less intense and shorter. No pills, no side effects, just calmer muscles and better sleep. Here's how to do it. About 20 minutes before bed, grab a bottle of magnesium oil or spray. Squirt a small amount about the size of a quarter into your hand and massage it into the spots that cramp up most, like your calves or thighs. Rub it in slowly for a minute or two to boost blood flow and help the magnesium soak in. It tingles the first few times. Don't worry, that's normal and fades after a few uses. Keep the bottle by your bed to make it a habit. My dad was skeptical when I handed him a bottle of magnesium spray. "What's this stuff gonna do?" he grumbled. But after 5 nights, he called me up, amazed. His cramps weren't gone, but they were happening less often, and he was sleeping longer stretches. Give it at least a week to start working most. People notice a difference by night 4 or 5, with your sleep setup fixed and magnesium calming your muscles. Let's move on to something most people get totally backward and it's all about salt. Trick number 3. Don't ditch salt completely. Salt gets a bad rap. We've all heard it. Too much salt spikes your blood pressure, so cut it out. And sure, overloading on salty snacks isn't great, but here's the flip side no one talks about. 2. Little salt can mess with your muscles big time. Salt is made of sodium. It's a key electrolyte that helps your nerves talk to your muscles. Without enough sodium, those signals get scrambled and your muscles can twitch, tighten, or cramp out of nowhere. A 2019 study in the Journal of Clinical Medicine found that low sodium levels, it's called hyponatremia, are a common trigger for muscle cramps, especially in older adults. This can happen if you're sweating a lot, taking diuretics, or cutting salt way back while drinking tons of water. I saw this with my aunt, who's 72. She was on a super low sodium diet for her blood pressure, but her leg cramps were getting worse. Her doctor checked her blood work and found her sodium was dipping too low. He told her to add a tiny bit of salt back into her meals, and it made a huge difference. You don't need to start eating pretzels by the bag. The National Academy of Medicine says adults need at least 500 milligrams of sodium a day, about a quarter teaspoon, to keep nerves and muscles happy. If you've gone hard on cutting salt, try adding just a pinch of sea salt to your dinner or sipping on a low-sodium bone broth in the evening. Balance is everything. Here's a simple trick. Sprinkle a little salt into your cooking water for veggies or pasta, or mix a pinch into a glass of water in the afternoon, especially if you've been active. Keep an eye on how your body responds. If you're on blood pressure meds or have kidney issues, check with your doctor first. But for many folks, this small tweak helps cramps fade. Now that we've got sodium sorted, let's talk about something else. You're probably doing every day that might be making cramps worse even, though it sounds healthy. Trick number 4. Hydrate wisely, not just more water. Water everywhere you've been told to drink it all day long. Staying hydrated is key, but here's the surprise. Chugging too much water, especially at night, can actually trigger leg cramps. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Your muscles need water to work, so how can drinking it cause problems? It's all About electrolytes again. Water, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. They're like a symphony. If you're drinking a ton of plain water, especially in the evening, you can dilute your electrolytes in your blood. That imbalance confuses your nerves, making your muscles more likely to cramp. A 2021 study in the Journal of Sports Science found that athletes who drank only water and didn't replace sodium and potassium, lost through sweat, had more cramps than those who used electrolyte-balanced drinks. You're probably not sweating like an athlete, but the same idea applies. If you're on diuretics, sweating in hot weather, or sipping water constantly, you might be flushing out key minerals. My friend Tom, who's 65, was proud of his 2-liter-day water habit, but his cramps were brutal. When he cut back a bit and added a splash of electrolyte powder to his midday water, his cramps dropped noticeably within a week. So, what's the move? Forget the 8 glasses a day rule. It's not one size fits all. Sip water steadily through the day, but ease off 2 to 3 hours before bed to avoid overloading your system and those late-night bathroom trips. If you're active or on meds that make you peen, try adding a pinch of sea salt or an electrolyte mix to your water once a day. I like to keep a small packet of sugar-free electrolyte powder in my bag for days when I'm out in the heats. Like insurance for my muscles. We've got 4 tricks: down sleep position, magnesium, sodium, and smart hydration. But the last one's the big one, and it's so easy you can start it tonight. It's backed by a 2021 study that blew me away. Trick number 5. Stretch like you mean it's all right. Here's wrap this up with the most powerful trick of all, and it doesn't come in a bottle or a spray bottle. Something you can do right in your living room, in your pajamas, with no gym membership needed. I'm talking about gentle stretching. I know stretching sounds too simple to fix something as vicious as leg cramps. But hear me out. A 2021 study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity tracks 68 adults over 60 with who had frequent nighttime cramps. They did a short stretching routine 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and before bed for 4 weeks. The results? A 60% drop in cramps and better sleep to boot. These were regular people, not yoga gurus. Here's why it works. As we age, our muscles get shorter and tighter, especially if you're sitting a lot or taking meds like statins. That tightness is like statins that can stiffen things up. Your muscles and nerves get jumpy, and at night, they snap into cramps. Gentle stretching resets that tension, calms your nervous system, and helps your muscles chill out. You don't need a 60-minute yoga session. Just 5 minutes, 3 times a day, focusing on your calves, hamstrings, and thighs. Hold each stretch for 30 seconds, breathe deeply, and keep it easy. If balance is tricky, do them seated or hold onto a chair. My dad started with 1 stretch, standing by the wall, pushing to stretch his calves. He'd do it while watching the morning news. After a week, he added a seated hamstring stretch. By week 3, he was sleeping through the night most nights. The bonus, stretching also eased his stress, and he felt looser getting out of bed. Try this tonight. Pick 1 stretch, like reaching for your toes while seated. Do it for a minute before bed. Then add more over time. In a couple of weeks, you might find your legs feel calmer, your sleep deeper, bringing it all home. So, there you have. It's 5 simple ways to take control of nighttime leg cramps. You don't need a pharmacy or a doctor's note, just a few small changes that add up to big relief. A pillow to support your legs, a dab of magnesium on your skin, a pinch of salt for balance, smarter hydration, and a minute or 2 of stretching. These aren't just tips. They're your tools to reclaim your sleep and wake up feeling like you again. You. What I love about these tricks is how they're not about masking the pain. They're about fixing what's causing it. You're listening to your body, giving it what it needs to rest, and taking back your nights. If my dad, who's stubborn as a mule, could go from nightly cramps to sleeping like a log, I know you can too. If this helped even a little bit, drop a comment below. Tell me your story. Have you dealt with these cramps? What's worked? Or which trick you're excited to try? Your experience could inspire someone else who's up at 3 a.m. rubbing their leg. And if you want more tips to live stronger and sleep better after 60, hit that subscribe button. Here's my challenge. Pick one trick tonight and stick with it for a week. Maybe it's the pillow trick or a quick calf stretch. Be kind to yourself. If it doesn't click right away, give it time. In a few weeks, you might wake up and realize you slept through the night without a single cramp. That's the peace you deserve. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.